Niels, there's only a few more sleeps until Christmas, but do you know what, mate? I think we can squeeze one more podcast into 2021.
A Christmas show.
Let's do it. Let's do a Christmas show. Hello and welcome to the Veloccino Cycling Podcast, where the best stories have not yet been ridden. Do you know what, Niels? I love our theme tune. Every time I hear it, the two of us, people can't see this, we're dancing around. It really hypes us up, ready for another podcast. Love that theme tune.
Well, I tend to disagree because it's Christmas and I would have expected actually more a Christmassy theme song.
Yeah, okay. Well, so like the same thing, just with some like sleigh bells over the top and all the rest of it?
I tried to prepare something. Do you want me to...
Oh, a new Christmas theme tune. Go for it. Let's hear it.
So I go all in.
All in, all in. Go. It's very Christmassy. I like that. That's got definitely got the Christmas vibe going for our Christmas special.
I played it myself on the recorder.
That was you on the recorder?
Yes.
You did once reveal that you are both a talented dancer and a musician. I wasn't aware.
Exotic dancer.
It's what, sorry?
An exotic dancer.
An exotic dancer. That was it. And foot model. These are all things that, if people listen back to our previous episodes, they will have heard different things about you. But this Christmas episode, we're actually returning to a previous podcast as well from exactly this time last year, aren't we?
Yeah, this is amazing because exactly 1 year ago, we spoke to Rick Lister, who at that time had the dream to build one of the highest profile women race teams in the UK. We thought our Christmas episode this year could be a perfect chance to see where are they now 1 year on, because at that time he was looking for sponsors, was still trying to finalize the roster. Maybe now we have the chance to speak to some of the racers to find out more what actually happened in this last year.
They did a cracking season from what we do know, though, because that interview you did with Rick, I wasn't there, and it was really interesting to hear about the hopes and dreams. And you know what? A first-time team out, just completing the season and holding on to your riders is probably a fairly good aspiration. But this team came second in the National Tour Series, came first and third in the National Crit Championship. So I think it's a great idea to hear from that team to find out what was their secret sauce, what made it so special, and how did they become so successful in their first season.
So what could be better for Christmas, exactly 1 year on, to speak to some of the riders?
Indeed. So welcome to the Veloccino Cycling Podcast, the amazing Jo Tindley, the incredible Amy Gornall, and the unbelievable Poppy Thompson. Hello, and welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
That's good.
So it's been a pretty incredible season for Finishline Racing. Actually, I say Finishline. We abbreviate it to that because, of course, when we saw Rick on our podcast earlier on in the year, or even the year before now. So, Jo, we call it Finishline. Of course, that's a quick abbreviation from our perspective. What's the full name of the team?
So it's Pro Noctis, Red Chili, Heidi Kelson, main name.
Excellent. And it's been one hell of a season, hasn't it, for you guys?
It has. I can't really take much credit for it because I joined halfway through, but I think Amy and Poppy have probably got more to say on the matter as well. So
yeah, well, just as she can't take much credit, however, I would like to say she's been a large part in the success of the team since she joined. I would give her quite a bit of credit personally.
okay, right.
Well, let's start with you. It's really interesting you say about the impact of Jo. What's your season been like, and what's it been like from before the season and then with Jo joining?
It was obviously a late start to the season this year. If I look back, it feels like Jo was with us the entire time. So there was a couple of months where she wasn't with us when the racing season started, and we still had a fantastic group of girls. Everyone clicked straight away, and we got off to a good start, especially for a first year as the team together. And it's different it's not just coming into a new year. Everybody had such a large break from racing as well, that nobody really knew what to expect from the season or themselves. So it was a great start, and the team, I don't think it could have gone any better for a first year, or any year really.
Well, especially when you've got, as you said, you've actually got to bring that team together. You've got to learn how each other works and your relative strengths and weaknesses, not just your own kind of where do you fit into that team. Poppy as well. I mean, for you, what were your priorities when you were coming into the beginning of this season?
I wasn't really sure what to expect because we'd had so much time off and obviously coming into the new team. And my priorities were sort of finding my feet again after so long off and just general improvement, seeing what could happen this year. And with the girls that we had and how it all started, I mean, we were lucky with the slow start to the season. Everyone could work with each other, find out, use races as like tests to see how we worked with each other and what strengths we had. I didn't really have any specific goals because I didn't know what to expect, but it worked out amazingly for everyone.
And how much time did you spend actually as a group kind of building the team, if you like? Did you spend any time at all like off the bike just trying to work out how you're going to work as a team, or was it something that naturally came together as you started racing?
We were lucky that Rick had spent so much effort in creating the team as a whole, not just getting good riders. He got people that would work well together. So when we came together, I think we had a camp in, when was it, May? I think, yeah. I've never had anything like it before. We all just came together and we just gelled immediately. It was almost weird, but it was great. And we all came together and we sometimes, we take journeys up, we travel together to races so we can chat in the car, and we stayed with like the nights before, and we always have like really good fun in the evening with meals and just chit chat. So, on and off the bike, we spend loads of time.
Okay, just a quick question for me. So do you all live very close to each other, or are you all spread out through the whole country?
We're all pretty spread out, I'd say. There's like little clusters, when you say girls. There's sort of a northern cluster and a southern one and
a Scottish one.
And a Scottish one. You're right.
just one Scottish one.
So interestingly, Jo, so when you came into the team, I say came into the team, as Amy said, it felt like you'd always been there. So I do know that, you're really keen to be mentoring a lot of teams as well and different people coming through. But with this team, what did you see your role as when you came in? Because let's face it, you come in as it must be quite a lot of pressure, but a fair amount of expectation on your shoulders. But what role did you find yourself in with the team?
Being one of the oldest on the team by a significant amount of years.
Can I just say, when it comes to age, it's the one with the greatest wisdom. That's what it is.
Okay. I'm not sure I have much wisdom, but I think ultimately I came across to be a rider, and certainly I said from the start that I didn't really want to have much involvement with team decisions as such. That's Rick's department, and he does very well with that. I didn't really want to upset the team. I think from the outside looking in, I could see that they had such a great bond. There was a great feel with the team. So I was very conscious of coming in and just not being too, just upsetting what the girls had. So I was happy to come in, be a worker. Absolutely on the mentoring side, it was literally, if you have any questions, you want me to help with anything, then ask. I'm there to give my knowledge across. I've got over 20 years of doing this, and it's, for me, I have a lot of enjoyment in helping riders develop. Amy is very experienced herself, and between us, it's sort of, Amy was road captain still, so that wasn't changing. The dynamics I didn't really want to change within the team. I just wanted to come along and just be more, just strengthen the team really. But it's played out really well. The girls accepted me, and I just felt really welcome, considering sometimes it can upset things a little bit, but it hasn't. It was really good.
Yeah, it's good. And I have to say, perhaps we should give a small credit to Rick in the fact that the way he's built the team, and maybe we should credit him in the way that he selected the people, knowing perhaps in the back of his head how it would gel together.
Yeah, and that was his thing. He's done this for about 8 years now. He's managed some DS teams, and this is the first time he's actually had full control, and he wanted to do it his way. And it's almost, you're sort of looking at mindset and not so much talent when you look at riders coming through. And he sort of sees beyond results often, and it's great what he's done.
Brilliant. Well, look, going back to your season and actually coming back to Amy. So, Amy, at what point in your first few races did you feel like you'd kind of you've got the secret sauces working well, whatever it is that brings a team together, that gets you to kind of start doing well in races and thinking, actually, we could do really well this season? What was the point in the season where you really felt, oh, actually, we've got this here?
Well, it was only actually a couple of races in, because I've also raced for quite a while, not as long as Jo, but a while. And it's been on so many teams. Straight away, once you've done a couple of races, everybody's got to know each other. You can tell whether you're going to work well together or not. And everyone just stuck to the plan. And that might sound daft, that why wouldn't people stick to a plan? But to get an entire team to stick to a plan and follow through, whether it's going to work or not, you stick to it, that really builds trust really quickly. So to be able to trust your teammates to actually do what we're planning to do and everyone work towards that common goal, everybody's got that sense of achievement and trust between everybody. Whether the plan comes together at the end or it doesn't, you've built the foundations for it to work next time. And I think it didn't take long. Everybody quickly realised that we all wanted to win as a team rather than as individuals. And I think that's the most important part of racing in general. It's that team aspect that's quite often neglected.
Yeah. And did you find yourself seeing other teams, actually coming to Poppy? I mean, Poppy, you obviously will have felt that same sense of the team, your own team. Did you see yourselves almost looking at other teams and thinking, actually, we've got something they haven't? I mean, just around, before you're even in the race, just as you're around the pits and that kind of stuff.
Oh, 100%. Like previous teams I've been, I'm not as experienced as the other two, but any team I've been on, we come together for a race, we all sort of do our own thing and warm up, and we might chat, but it's different. And then when I came into this team, and we all sit together, we all set up together, we chat, everything is done as a team, and it's not forced. We might have our turbos set up in a line, but it's not like anyone says that I want my turbo there because it's next to this person because I don't like that person. And everyone's sharing products, and so we're all doing our legs together, and it's like a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't forced. It was just natural. And the other teams, they might have it from an outsider's view. We might not be able to see what's going on, but it felt like we had that little bit extra, from everyone else.
When it comes to preparation, although you're doing it as a team, do you guys have any of those sort of superstitions or pre-race rituals that you follow? Just the weird things like your favorite pair of socks that you always wear, or the different things that you do things in a different order, or you always have the same bit of food before you go out and race. I can see Poppy laughing, so let's go to Poppy and say, what are you laughing?
I feel like everyone's good. I have a pot of lavender oil, and everyone knows it. It started out as a thing to keep me centered and relaxed, because I used to get quite nervous in races, and so I would have the lavender on as a pulse point, just to sort of smell and relax me. And then I started offering it round, and not everyone does it, but some people just come in and just like dabbing it, have a little bit of
Poppy
chill
proper
juice.
zen. Proper chilled.
Do you have that moment then, if you're downwind as you're coming up on another team, they're like, oh no, Pro Noctis are coming?
There could be worse smells, couldn't there?
This is true. I mean, this is it, the best smelling team, or maybe even the most consistent smelling team. Fantastic. That's great.
I can just imagine before every race, there's like this little glamping yurt somewhere, and then everybody's sitting in there, like in the yoga pose, and then in the middle there's some kind of lavender fire or something.
Whatever it is that works,
that's not the case,
whatever
right?
it is that works, it is obviously working. And what about Jo? What about you? You've raced in so many different situations. Have you got any things that you do as part of your prep?
I think because I do it so much, I don't really think about it, but I will always eat jam sandwiches and Haribo sweets at a particular time in the last hour running up to the race. So it'll be really clockwork. I guess that's the only sort of ritual I have. I certainly don't have any lucky items. I don't believe in lucky items. I don't have anything like that. So yeah, I don't know really. I think food. I'm quite structured with my food coming up into the last.
Great. We always follow Jo's plan. Like if
They all watch
doing
me.
something, we follow.
Is it one of those things where everyone just watches you and everyone is watching you and then biting into their own jam sandwich at exactly the same time?
It's definitely like that with the Haribos. There's a lot of them. Like first Jo had Haribos, and then each week sort of there was more people with Haribos, and then you could come over to the gazebo and Jo will be eating Haribos, and then if you look around, everyone else starts getting their Haribos out. So that's definitely a thing. It's catching on.
Excellent. And you all sat there whispering, going, "She's going for one of the eggs. She's eating the eggs first. Now she's gone for the dummy. Oh, look, she's gone for an orange one." You know, I mean, do you make sure that you're that lined up as a team?
Oh yeah, we all eat the same Haribos. Yeah.
It's one of those funny things, isn't it? It's if something works, you just keep doing it. Why stop? Absolutely. What about you, Amy?
When there's a race, it is not super important. Also, just like start eating haggis or something, and just see what happens. Like everybody's, oh no, she's eating haggis.
I don't think anyone would follow that trend.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
No.
and I've not tried it. So maybe next year I'll kick the
I say you're in
with that.
Scotland.
Yeah, see what happens. Yeah.
You might need extra lavender oil just to take the smell away, but other than that, I think
maybe.
haggis good. What about you, Amy? What about your pre-race rituals or superstitions? What do you follow?
I don't really have any rituals or superstitions. I would say that I was
not even lucky veloccino socks.
Well, I mean, I do love my socks. Did you not see the photo at the beginning of the year?
We did.
Yes. But yeah, I'm more on the edge of relaxed. Like it's just more relaxed.
I will just stop you there, Amy. Amy, right, turns up last minute.
Oh my God.
Okay, and everybody sat there going, "Where's Amy? Where's Amy?" We're really Amy's late, and it's an hour. Amy rocks up straight on the turbo, gets off the turbo, starts racing. Honestly, it is so relaxed.
Do you remember Sequel when she turned up like 10 minutes before the race?
Yeah, so relaxed.
I'm not sure it was 10 minutes. Like
it was.
I am there with enough time to put my number on, do my warm up, get to the start line. I get too fidgety. All these like to turn up like 2 hours before, have a sit down, relax. If I turn, one tour series, we had to oh my days, I had to turn up with Rick. Oh, Rick will turn up 5 hours before the start. And I was sat there and I was like, what do I do with myself?
You were not happy, were you? You were like, is this what you do?
I was like, do you do this every time? Just sit. Oh, I just can't. It gives you too much time to think, doesn't it? You've got to, you can get there, get stuff done, have your routine, get on the bike, race. I don't like the chilled bit.
What does Rick do when he's like 5 hours earlier? Does he have like something that you observed? Does he have like a coach chair or something, and then he goes there and sits in his chair for 5 hours?
He just won't check things out. Yeah.
He's very, very particular about things, isn't he? So it's he has a what does he call it? A particular way of doing things. He has it'll be a certain order, and it's done religiously. That's why he turns up. There's no rush. The chairs go out, the gazebo goes out, and I just sit and help a little bit. And
I can imagine as well as a team manager, if he forgets something, with 5 hours to go, he can find another one or whatever it is that's been left behind. And he's got to be the one to make sure that not only has he got to think for himself, he's got to make sure the whole team's there and everything as well. So I do get the advanced preparation, but actually I can imagine as a racer, actually, the whole thing about being a racer is action, isn't it? It's action and doing stuff. So, the preparation of being sat still, not doing anything, although Poppy's way of doing it does seem to keep it nice and calm. I can imagine, Amy, you sitting there fidgeting in your seat, going, "Oh, come on, let's crack on with it."
Yeah.
Buzzing.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Excellent. So thanks. Well, look, coming back to your season, you had a tremendous season, and just to remind everybody, what were your big results for the season?
Oh, wait. One thing, actually, because I think, some of our listeners are not super close to like following racing over the season. A lot of our listeners tune in just for giggles and because it's something about bikes. For those of you listeners, the team that we have here, it might sound as if it's just a group of friends, just like, bobbling along. That's not the case. Last year, or the year before, we're not entirely sure, we had Rick on the show, and we were speaking about his dream of creating an aspiring race team, taking on the scene and having a successful season. At that time, he was looking for sponsors, and we were talking about the struggles that it was to find sponsors, to give him the trust that he has the confidence and the talent to build a team with racers to be successful. And it is absolutely fantastic to see that now 1 year on, this team is absolutely smashed it. And I really love like how Jo, Amy, and Poppy are sitting there like totally humble. You listeners won't see that they're just sitting there like, yeah, we just, we rock up to our races and then there's a little bit of lavender oil, blah, blah, blah. No, these guys have really smashed it. Like, and when I talk about smashing it, so it's basically national tour series. Like you were in the leading seat until like the last race where just really like on a teeny tiny margin dropped down to second place. Then on the national crit race, Jo just smashed this. I don't know. It's unbelievable. If you've watched it on telly, you might still be able to see it somewhere. You should definitely watch this race because it was like absolutely fantastic. And then two races from the same team on podium on national level in a team that just had the first full season. It's absolutely incredible. And then every other race, like let's face it, the three of you are just like representatives of the team. There's like many more races. Everywhere where you rocked up, you just smashed it. And it's just so good to see. So I just wanted to say that. So back over to you, Mike.
So if you haven't spotted the fanboy in the room, that is Niels. Absolutely. But yeah, so obviously there was, I mean, you guys are right at the elite of what's happening in women's racing in the UK. But for you guys, what were your really big highlights then in terms of what you achieved? So let's go to Amy first.
I would say, unusually for me, tour series. I've done tour series many years, and well, I don't always enjoy it, but I really enjoyed it this year. To be able to come together so well and put so much effort in as a team to just ride our hearts out when we had no expectations whatsoever was really good, and I can't wait to do it again next year.
Excellent. And Poppy, what was your highlight?
Well, personally, I didn't have any, like personal results of note, but as a development side, yeah, the rider I was at the beginning of the year is a different person to the one that I am now, which I'm really happy about. And helping, riding as a team and helping the girls race their races, like the RAS especially, and then national champs at the end. They were two highlights for me, and the girls around us did amazingly as well. So,
by the way, I have to say, I love it when we meet all these elite athletes and you are all so humble. Everyone's like, yeah, well, I didn't get any results myself. I mean, it's a team sport, obviously, and that's the thing. So, yeah, you've still got the fact that you were part of the winning team. So for different races, so that is great. And Jo, what about you? What were your highlights or your highlight?
I mean, it's going to be an obvious one, but for me, it was the national crit champs. But it wasn't because of winning myself. It wasn't the way it was the way that we did it. It was the way that the team rode behind me, and that's something that stands out from everybody that speaks to me about it. And it was something that actually, when I rewatched it after a few Prosecco's afterwards, it made me really emotional because I could not believe what I was seeing the girls doing, and it was just the most incredible thing to watch as a team. I throughout the year, I would work for any of the girls. I trust all of them, and it is about being a team for me. It's yeah, all right, it's great, yeah, national champs, nice jersey, but the way that the girls rode on that night was just incredible. Like I can't, it's that, and it's everything else. It's even in the road races and stuff. It's us. It's not one rider. We win, like, and that jersey's for us, and that's how I see it. So I think that was a very special moment, and it was something that will stay with me for a long time, for sure.
Yeah. It was an incredible race to watch, and your margin of victory was tremendous. And that was that part of the plan to sort of go off early and see what happened, or?
Yeah, so in Tour Series, I kind of came a bit unstuck in sprints a little bit. I didn't win, and I kept getting out sprinted, and I just sat down with coached by Dean. I said, Dean, I can't risk taking this to a sprint, and I just said, I need more grunt. I need more power. I can't risk taking this race to the line. And that was it. And I sat down with Phil from Pro Noctis and did a lot of mindset work and a lot of visualization. And the race played out exactly how I visualized it in the lead up to it. But not so early. I wanted to sort of sit for 10 minutes in the bunch and settle down and then go. But it just so happened the way that it did. But it was planned. Like in my head, it was anyway. But it doesn't often go like that. So yeah, and the girls were all in, which meant that I could do it. If it wasn't for the girls, I don't think that would have happened at all.
I really enjoyed watching it, and I remember like when you went, and then there was all of a sudden a massive gap, and I was like, so when is someone going? Like, there's no one going, and then somebody tried to go, and immediately some other racer from your team just marked this person and basically just ruined the attack. It was absolutely everybody. For me as a spectator, I would love to say that I was completely unbiased, and I didn't obviously I was rooting for you guys, but it was really, really good to see. Everybody knew what they had to do. It's like, okay, no, mark down. And it was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for that.
It was good. It was at one point the time actually came down to about 16 seconds. I came through, and next thing you see is all the girls on the front, it was just a sea of red. And that, when you see that on the film or on the YouTube or whatever, that's that makes me all sort of really just so proud of it all, So yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty special.
Didn't Corinne crash into the finishing?
Yeah, Abby sort of lost control through the finish line and came down, and then Corinne hit her, but they both crossed the line, so obviously the result stood. So yeah, so she proper dedicated herself to that third place, didn't she?
Yeah, that was as a spectator, I was like, oh my goodness. And then when you saw that she was all right, I was like, oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Obviously, knowing that she's okay.
It's really interesting. And also, you guys run a course, obviously, that you know pretty well. But I think, Jo, you actually used to live on the course at some point.
So where the finish line was, there's a pub called the Magna Carta. I used to work in the pub on that finish line. So yeah, I know the area well, but I never really wrecked the course much because it was just too busy with tourists and stuff. So I knew the roads, but I didn't go and practice them that much. But there were many times I'd be busy at work looking out the window at the finish line, just yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've actually never been to Lincoln. Have you been?
Actually, my wife's family are all from Lincoln, so been there many times, and I've looked down Steep Hill, and the TV does absolutely no justice to what that hill looks like. It is, quite honestly, you walk down it and you just think, how do they let even pedestrians on this thing? It's really that steep. It's incredible.
It looks flat. On telly, it looked flat.
No, it's very horrible. It's very horrible. So it's been a really, really good season, and something I've been really interested in is then the pressure you get as a professional, not just on the bike and racing and those sorts of things, but things like you have to do podcasts with idiots like us. You've also got to do things for your sponsors. There's social media pressure. There's all these different things that come with being an elite athlete beyond just focusing on your own training and doing it. And even worse, now that you're kind of on TV and you've been successful, everyone expects you to be a role model for almost everything in life, not just cycling. And I was wondering, do you feel that pressure with what you do, and how do you balance having to do the social media stuff with riding and being successful?
Well, you remember to do the social media stuff because you have to. And what you do is you say, oh, they did a post. Yes, I should remember to do one of those also. Yeah, good idea. So make sure you follow your teammates on social media because they'll give you good reminders. But no, you just sort of live your life and enjoy riding your bike, and it's important to keep your sponsors happy. They're what keep you racing and enjoying what you're doing. So I don't think it's a hassle. It's part of what you do, and it's just like going to work. You make sure you keep everyone happy, and everybody, our sponsors do so well for us. Why wouldn't we want to give them a little bit back?
It's difficult because ultimately this is just a hobby. You know, we all work, and it's a real sort of fine line between expecting a lot more of riders and stuff. You know, we don't get paid. It is, like I said, it's just a hobby. So it's really difficult to have to push people to do social media, but it is vitally important. You know, and it is a juggling act, really. Everybody's got study or they've got work or other things going on, and cycling's a really time-consuming sport as well. So it's I like to think, I mean, I don't feel the pressure. I don't feel that there's a lot of pressure from sponsors, and we're incredibly lucky. Like, I've been in other teams where we've had a lot of pressure, and it takes the fun away from it. So it's about building that right environment for the riders as well, with sponsors and stuff. So it's a juggling act. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. We are coming up to Christmas, and this is our Christmas episode. So we thought we'd do something around presents. Now, when you're getting a present for somebody, you really need to know them. So your colleagues, your teammates have sent us some things about them, some little strange facts, and you've got to guess which one of them it is. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
So,
By the way, before we recorded this, I said to Mike, like, let's just make stuff up. See what
That'd be cruel.
I have like a little elf tattooed on my shoulder blade or something.
Yeah, Niels was on about which one of your teammates has got the name of a previous sponsor tattooed on their back or something like that. You know, it was, and I was like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that.
You can lie.
True. So, right, here we go. We'll go for one of the. Okay, here you go. Who was city champ at 60 meters 2 years running with a time very close to Jessica Ennis-Hill's time at the same age?
I know the answer to this, so I'm not joining in.
Oh.
It's not Rick.
No, certainly not. He can't run.
Amy, Poppy, who could that be?
That Millie?
That was Millie.
Oh, that was good. That was quick.
Well done, Poppy. That was good.
Nice.
That is super quick.
Definitely
Super quick
sniffing the
time as
lavender
well.
oil helps.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one. Which one of your teammates has grade 8 at drums?
Drums.
See, now this has got to be, you know, everyone sat there nervously tapping on the bars, waiting to start. Who's the one with the best rhythm?
I wouldn't say any of us have got rhythm.
Oh, that
One of your teammates has now
insulted
just
someone.
been very insulted.
Yeah. They could play the drums.
It can be new teammates for 2022.
Oh, new teammates as well.
Oh, who
Yeah, so she might have not been with a team in 2022.
is that a clue?
Yeah,
Well, that's definitely a clue.
Potentially.
It's not Lucy.
Yeah, boom.
It is.
No.
It's Lucy.
What a talented girl.
Oh my days.
Wow.
You have to do
Yeah.
a performance.
Yeah, she will. She's going to have to sit in the middle of like the tent and do like some rhythm
Yeah.
at the beginning of the race.
Whilst the lavender's going on,
Yeah, she's going to be tapping away.
some sort of African drumming in the background to get you into the right mood. Brilliant.
Wow.
So we've got a couple. Right. Okay, we're going to step it up a gear here.
Well, that's. I think I know which one you take, and this is my favorite one.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm going to go for another one first. Here we go.
Oh.
Here we go. Her first car was called Henry because it was a red Corsa after Henry the Hoover. So who could that be?
See, that would be something I think Millie would say, but I think Millie's first car's blue. So
Well,
Is it
Corin's got a red
Corin?
car.
She's got a red car, but that's a VW, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
not a Corsa.
I mean, let's face it. Somebody who's got a red Corsa as their first car is not somebody who's into cars, is it necessarily? No offense to anybody who owns a Vauxhall Corsa, but they just one up from the Honda Jazz. But there we go. Right.
Poppy, what car have you got?
That's me. I've got a Panda.
Oh,
It's
Panda.
okay.
Pandas are brilliant. Everyone loves a Fiat Panda. Legend of a car.
Okay.
Was it Bexy?
No,
It's
her
not.
first name is more like a. If you think of onions,
Ah, Charlotte.
Of onions.
Oh,
Oh,
Shallot.
onions.
Shallot.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get that at all.
Do you know
Like
what? I've got it.
onions.
Do you know what, Amy?
A
I've got
lot.
it written in front of me, and I didn't get it.
Oh, brilliant.
Right now, finally, are we ready? So this one is pretty awesome. Which one of your team caused an evacuation of their school with a homemade smoke bomb hidden in a model volcano?
That sounds amazing.
So
Corin.
someone's taken their model volcano to
can you
school
imagine?
with a smoke bomb in it
Corin,
and managed to
that would
cause
be
an
funny.
evacuation. Who, sorry?
I said Corin. That would be funny.
it's not.
Not Corin, is it?
It's not.
Corin's the quietest rider on
That's
the
a
team.
shame.
So, Izzy,
Isabel.
maybe? Yeah.
Izzy, yeah.
It's not.
No, that's not.
Oh,
not
my
No?
Bexy.
You know what? I can see that. I
you
can
just gave
see
it
that.
away too easy.
That's amazing.
Oh, my
Well, I
God.
think we should do one final one. So here you go, one final one as it's Christmas. Which one of your team once missed the start of a race by going for a pee? This is something that Niels has done several times.
It
Just
was.
before
But
the
it was.
start.
It doesn't matter.
But then had to wait until the end to go home because they gave the commissaire a lift to the race. So they missed the start and then just had to wait for the entire race before they could go home.
That's
Well, I
hilarious.
mean, it sounds like Jo, because Jo always needs a wee stop, but it can't be Jo because
During
she's
the
sat here.
I've heard this story before.
Charlotte.
Again,
Well,
Joe,
I'm just,
Joe,
I
come
can
on then, give us the answer. Who is it?
It'll be Rick.
yeah.
oh, you didn't say he was involved.
No. Well,
He's part of the team.
I hate to
right?
break it to you, but
That's
he is
true.
part of the team.
Yeah.
But no, he, yeah, apparently, and this may explain why he likes to arrive 5 hours early,
So
just
he
to
doesn't
make
miss the
sure
start.
that he's not locked in a portaloo at the moment of the start of the race.
Portaloos are dangerous. A friend of mine once on a concert, was like a festival, went on the Portaloo and somebody like pushed it over and it fell on the door.
No.
Yeah, it's 5 people that were trying to get it back up and it didn't work. Anyways,
The thing is, that is only funny from the outside. From the outside, that happening, it's funny. From the inside, I can't imagine. I mean, I would have sense of humour failure if that happened to me. I must
and it was a friend.
So brilliant. Well, look, that's a little bit more insight into the team. We were just going to ask one final thing, which was really with Rick as the manager. If now it's Christmas time, if you were to buy Rick anything you could, if there's anything on the planet you could buy Rick, what would it be? So let's go with Poppy.
Oh, God.
A lifetime supply
Yeah.
of lavender oil and pot plants.
Oh, I mean, why not? Reminds him of me. No, I don't know. Maybe I'd ask if he had a list, because he always has a list. Always, for everything. Or maybe like a new notebook, because he's run out of list making paper.
There you go.
Like,
Unlimited list making notebook. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What about
Shall we
yourself,
send him
Amy?
Let's send him one.
We'll
Send
find him.
one. Well, you see, if you could get anything, an organised van which has a space for every single item required for the race, because if he packs the car in a very certain way, so you can help pack away, but packing the car, you must ask where things go. So probably a van with labels for where everything should be placed. Yeah.
I can imagine it's like a bit like one of those garden sheds where somebody's drawn an outline of the different things stuck up on the wall.
Just like
So-
that.
I am absolutely loving that. That is the best gift I've ever heard somebody come up with for somebody else. I'm loving that.
Well, we can't send him that.
No,
we send him the notebook.
sorry, Rick.
one end to the other.
And Joe, what about you? What can you think of? If sky's the limit.
I'll be honest, I can't out trump what Amy said, that he has his systems. It is all about the system. It's everything has its place. So that would be my ideal gift for him. At the minute, I just think socks and pants. Like he wears his socks out. Yeah.
Do you know what? I think one of the things you can buy any man of any age without any worry at Christmas is always socks and pants. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Everyone needs them.
No, absolutely. So Amy's hit the nail on the head there. I think she's got the best present or the best idea. So mine's pretty boring, I think. Just socks.
See, I could just imagine Rick listening to this and then going back out and look, scratching his chin, looking at the back of the car, thinking, well, maybe I could draw that. Even
maybe it's like on a budget. We'll get him like a label maker.
Yes.
And if that'll just be like common ground. Get him a label maker.
He got excited the other week because he bought a sticker set of numbers to number the wheels.
Oh yeah, instead of
I remember
writing them on. Yeah.
So he was very, very pleased with this. So that's what he likes.
Excellent. Well, dare I say, an easy man to impress for Christmas with presents. Yeah. That's good.
Fantastic. If your wishes are not like completely, it shows also about your character, right? That you're like a humble person. You're just happy with a bit of.
Well, to be fair, we haven't asked Rick. We haven't asked Rick what he wants. We've just asked what we would buy Rick. I think maybe if we'd asked Rick, he'd say a jumbo jet. Maybe he would go big. Who knows? I don't know what you do with a jumbo jet. I mean, where would you park it anyway? Now we've talked about your race series, the fantastic season you've had, the great team camaraderie that you guys have built, and we've even talked about Christmas presents for Rick, as it is our Christmas episode. But what does the future hold for you guys? What are your sort of your own highlights when you're thinking ahead to next year?
Just get through Christmas. Think about it after Christmas dinner. No, next year is it's going to be interesting and it's going to be fun but tough, because I think we've set the standard quite high for ourselves. So it'll be good once we get together again in the new year and see how having a couple of extra riders helps the dynamic of the team, and just try and build on what we've already started building this year.
That's good. And I guess also there's always the thing that all your competition have gone away thinking, wow, that's the team to chase. We've got to work twice as hard to make sure that we catch them as well. So I can see where there's, you've set your own standards and the others will follow as well.
Yeah, we've just got to keep pushing that standard higher.
And what about for yourself, Poppy? What do you see for the team in yourself or the team in next year?
Well, following on from Amy, I think we've got a head start on everyone else. They've seen what we can do and they're trying to emulate it themselves, but we started earlier. So, if we keep moving forward, which I know we will, and keep improving as a team and as individual riders, I think we're going to have another cracking season.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So good to hear.
I think that's the thing is with many teams is recognizing what was it that made you successful and keep doing that, not always necessarily trying to change everything completely for the next season, but know what made you successful, keep doing it. And like you said, you guys are already ahead because you've been doing this now for a little bit longer and you came together so well as a team. And what about for you, Jo? What do you see for next year?
I just think keep the momentum that we've got. We are going to have to change it up a little bit. I think keep what we're doing the same, but I think we're the only UK team that's got a national champion on the team. And we are going to be watched. It's going to change the dynamics certainly for us. So we have to keep moving forward and change the way that we see things and the way we ride. So I think we've got a great team, and the new riders are really exciting. Everybody who's on the team is just all in, and I think it's going to be quite a good year. It'll be a challenge. We'll have to change and keep moving forward. But I think as long as we keep that momentum, I think we'll be all right.
Fantastic. Well, look, fantastic. Thank you, the three of you, for joining us today for our Christmas special and just giving us some insight into what your season's been and the successes that you've had. So it's been really brilliant to have you here. So thank you so much. Now, look, Christmas is that time of year where we give presents and thank yous and all the rest of it. So just wondering, is there anyone you guys want to thank for that's contributed in your season this year?
Biggest standout person would be Rick, because without him, we wouldn't have a team. We wouldn't have had a season. Literally none of it would have been possible, because the sponsors are fantastic. But without Rick, we wouldn't have any sponsors either. So Rick is definitely due a very large thank you from everybody, which I think he does know, but we should probably remind him.
Excellent. And Poppy, for you, is there anyone particularly you want to thank for the season?
Apart from what Amy's just mentioned, the girls, honestly, like, they have made my year so much better than I could ever have imagined. Honestly, all of them, like past and present and future, they are best team in the world.
Brilliant. And you really do get this sense of team from you guys. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, Jo, coming to you last for thank yous. The problem is, of course, Amy and Poppy have already stolen the whole of the team and Rick. So what about for yourself?
Yeah, Amy, Rick's going to love that, by the way. So I'll have to hear that when he hears this now. So for me, absolutely what the Poppy and Amy just said, 100%. And again, it's the sponsors. We can't do this. I know Rick's put everything together, but the sponsors have trusted us, and it's just everything. It's not just one particular thing. We can't do this without sponsors, and I just so grateful for everybody, every single little one. And we're very fortunate that we have this opportunity, and I'm incredibly grateful to be part of the team. So just thanks for everybody, and Rick as well. Yeah, no, it's cool. And the girls and everything, it's just been a blast this year. If you'd have said to me at the beginning of the year, this is what's going to happen, I'd be like, nah, it's not true, not going to happen, wouldn't happen. So it's everybody that's done this. It's a team, so it's cool.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. Now, we are going to be able to follow you on TV next year, because you guys are going to get coverage. But Amy, if people want to follow the team and follow the progress, what's the best way to do that?
Follow us on Instagram at Finishline RT, which you can see all the highlights, and also check out the YouTube channel, because there is a little snippet from the races. Obviously, you can catch up on what we've been doing this year, and there'll be a lot more on there for next year as well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Well, look, thank you once again for spending some time with us just before Christmas, and good luck in next season. And hopefully we'll have you guys on perhaps even during the race season, just to do some little catch-ups on how you guys are progressing, because whenever we meet people, you just get so bought into wishing that they do well next year. We want to track that progress, and I'm sure all of our listeners will be wanted to do the same as well. So thank you once again. Well, Niels, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling quite inspired. Are you feeling inspired?
And to go racing, yes, of course. No, I'm more inspired to follow these guys across social media, and they have just mentioned all the sponsors. There's a really long list of sponsors, so we will put all of them in our description of the podcast. If you want to have a look, there are fantastic companies that are basically putting themselves out to enable this team to be successful, which is fantastic. And yeah, thank you once again also from my end. I really enjoyed this Christmas episode. I hope you did too.
Niels, normally this is the point in the podcast where we say we're off on our bikes because we've been inspired by our races and off we go. But I've got to say today, I think I'm going to get on my bike and probably head down the shops, because with only just a few shopping days till Christmas, I need to go and find some more presents, and including a notebook for Rick, by the look of it, for his endless notes, which we will need. But for now, everybody, thank you very much and goodbye. Thank you for listening to the Veloccino Cycling Podcast, where the best stories have not yet been written.